Ben Freeman's host again. Good.
Okay. All right.
2 years later, and we're still learning how to use Zoom. That's how I look at it.
Diane, what were the instructions for giving me doing the full screen?
Well, this is Google Slides, so it's different from the way I normally do it.
Oh, geez. Okay, so Ollie's bringing his PC back up here.
All righty. Actually,
Okay.
I'm back.
All right, so I'm going to drop out here. Okay, you go ahead, Ollie.
Yeah, sorry. So sorry.
Let me go back here. Come on. Right there. Okay. Come on, man. All right. There. Stop sharing. Stop share. Stop.
Okay,
share.
but now we need Ali to be sharing.
Yeah.
So is it once again my?
No, John's the host now, but
Okay.
Ali,
All right.
can you just click on to share screen and you can use it?
Yep, I got it. Give me one
Okay.
second.
Good.
All right, so. Let's see.
I was trying to think of some jokes I could start telling, but it looks like David has a suggestion on what he wants to do in chat.
All right, can y'all see that? Can y'all see the screen?
Looks good.
Thank you,
Yep.
David, for
Okay.
sending the chat message. So yes, we're ready to go. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. All righty, so yeah, just sharing a bit about ourselves. Actually, 1 second. Yeah, so start out just with introductions, right? My name is Ali Dirul. I'm the founder and CEO of Ryter Cooperative Industries. Detroit native, born and raised, 36 years old, and really appreciate and enjoy doing work in the clean energy space. I have a background in mechanical engineering, bachelor's, and then a master's in alternative energy systems. And so I really wanted to just see how we could make some of the solar projects a reality in the city of Detroit. And so I won't be presenting this by myself. I got my wonderful partner, Karan Jafamadou, who is the Chief Operations Officer, who will be joining me in this presentation. So just going from there. Right, so first of all, so who is RCI, right? Who is Ryter? Ryter Cooperative Industries is a project management company that's really been delivering innovative energy technology and practical solutions to communities around Detroit, River Rouge, Highland Park for the past 8 years or so. Our mission is to accelerate the adoption of solar-powered energy systems by providing robust, scalable solutions. And you'll see throughout the sharing of this that we have provided various solutions at small levels as well as larger levels, larger scales. We are a project management company, so we look to partner with community-based organizations or municipalities or block club associations or homeowners associations around how they can get solar technology out and into their communities. Our vision, right, is that we are looking to be leaders in the global community for adopting clean energy and power, around the world for everyday use, right? And sharing with you, these are some of our core values, right? Like innovation, customer support, integrity, sustainability, collaboration, teamwork, responsibility, right? These are things that we value. And so over the course of our years, we have developed some expertise in the field. Primarily, a lot of our background has been specifically primarily in battery technologies. You may notice a theme as we go through this that, these are some of the projects that we've done around a lot of them are battery based in some type of way, right? We believe in resiliency and having ownership of our own power. So a lot of the solutions that we have put out over the last 8 years have been battery-based solutions. You can go through and read the expertise. I'll share these, but through some of the work that we've done, we've had an opportunity to develop a lot of firsts in the city of Detroit and largely actually in the state of Michigan around energy and kind of pushing what can be done with energy solutions and how they can be creatively developed and deployed in neighborhoods to where it would actually make a difference for the residents. And so that would be some of the theme of this conversation, is like, how does clean energy technology benefit people in these communities, and how do they use them in practical type of ways, right? So one is the first, why is this important? So I just want to go through this really quickly, is that, essentially, right, as the demand for energy increases and the resources to produce that energy are finite, right? We need to start looking toward more alternative sources of energy, right, to be able to sustain our base level of lifestyle. And we believe that the people that are kind of firstly affected by that are underserved communities, right? These are, low income communities that don't necessarily have access to clean energy. And we want to provide them solutions so that, they have a quality of life and an ability to be contributing to, the larger community and society, right? So we believe that, the solution is by working to solve, cooperatively, we can solve this problem by cooperatively working with renewable energy partners, right, that really have a dedicated and invested interest in terms of sustainability, and decentralize many of these resources so that the grid, as it ages out and does not necessarily have an ability to keep up with the demand of the growing population, the growing infrastructure, right, that we can almost essentially alleviate the burden that the grid would have to take on by having more decentralized nodes for just simple, power generation, for various types of applications that could also build in resiliency as well, right? So Ryter Cooperative Industries, actually one of our first projects, actually our very first project, was a project at Detown Farm. Detown is a farm, well, actually, Roger, maybe you can give them some background a little bit on what Detown is. Okay.
Well, Detown is a 7.5 acre urban farm that's located in Rouge Park. It's been out there, and it is staffed by volunteers as well as paid farm workers. I'm a beekeeper there and have been associated with them for the past 10 years now doing beekeeping. So they had, when I came aboard, had indicated there was an interest in going solar, and that's how Ali and I hooked up. And the result was, as you see here, the beginning of the works and the completion of the work on the energy station, which is 4 kilowatts in capacity. And we've recently done an upgrade there to pull out the old panels and put in more efficient panels, as well as upgrading the inverter.
So this one was used to be able to provide power to the farm, right? When they didn't have power, provides lighting. It allows them to charge certain power tools, have communications, so to be able to, they can communicate with each other around the farm and not necessarily have to run from end to end of the farm. And so, this was one of our first projects, and actually how Ryter Cooperative Industries got started. Initially, we were just operating out of a basement, and really didn't have, we had the technical know-how and the people. And so we actually started, as we started getting more equipment, like we started, getting panels, and then we started ordering batteries. We were like, we're kind of handling larger sums of money. And so it really makes sense to have an entity that's really, working to provide this solution. And so it was out of this project that the Ryter Cooperative Industries, was born. And so from this, we have a 4.5 kilowatt power station. And this was done in partnership with DTE. Here you can see, we got some pictures of the ribbon cutting. And it was very inspirational for folks because they've not seen something like this before, right? This is right in the middle of an urban area. And so it was really one of the points of this, primarily, aside from the technical capacity of it, was also to show people in the neighboring communities that it is possible to own your own power and to see what that looks like and have ownership over your own power and be producers in that way. Right. So, after we completed this project, one of our partner organizations out of Highland Park kind of came to us and said like, hey man, we have this need in Highland Park. As Diane was mentioning, Highland Park is a city that had its lights repossessed in 2011. And so one of the solutions that we partnered up with was like, what would it look like to put lights back in a city and have it owned by the people so that, they can't be repossessed, they're powered by solar, and really have an opportunity to put them out en masse. So we got a video. I don't know if the video is going to play well. I can see. Just a quick video on the background of the project.
I'm a beekeeper at Detown Farms. I heard that there was a solar energy project. I've been interested in becoming involved in solar energy. Oops. This was a golden opportunity, so made the connection with Ali, and here I am.
We commissioned the design, development, and implementation of a 40-foot shipping container known as Dirul Energy Station now that powers the farm. I decided to start Ryter Cooperative Industries because a lot of times we get our degrees and leave the community, but want to be able to actually give projects back to the community.
Another objective of RCIs is to fill the vacuum that is a result of energy providers in the city of Detroit pulling out of traditional street lighting, traditional alley lighting, and we want to provide some safe alternatives.
I mean, we've met so many people along the way, so many people that have inspired us. Our relationship with Solidarity, it just kind of evolved in that type of way. We noticed that they had lights that they were providing to the community, street lights that were at a slightly higher scale. So we designed the bulk purchase program so that solar lighting can be more affordable to the average person. Buying in bulk, it incentivizes us to work together. It incentivizes community. The work training program, we started with a small group last year. We trained them up on how solar works, on how to install these lights, how to use power tools, how to go up on ladders. So since we've started this program, we've put in a total of about 60 lights in Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. And the motion sensor lights built in. So.
With the news that DTE is going to stop supporting the alleyway lighting, we're really excited to work with RCI and Solidarity to bring solar lighting into the alleyways. We don't like having dark alleyways. They're not conducive to use by the neighbors. And so we're really excited to bring green, renewable energy.
I think of myself as a pollinator in the sense that what we're doing is trying to pollinate the neighborhoods with solar.
So yeah, so that was a project that we did in partnership with Solidarity. And that was a 2017 project. And since then, I think we've ran the program for about 2 more years. And so I think we had a total of about 300 lights that have been 100 for the first year. So 50 for the first year, 100 for the second year, and then the third year, I think we actually kind of got more than 300 lights out in total. And so, as we said, this was in response from DTE removing the street lights. And so, these were some of the things that we did in that project. As an expansion of this, another partner in Highland Park is called Parker Village. And another Parker Village, for those of you who may know, may not know, is an eco village that's basically in the heart of Highland Park. And it's looking to be able to provide, solar energy, rain catchment, bicycle trails and things like that, so that people in the community can have a space in the village to be able to come to. One of the things that we did with Parker Village was install the first smart street light in Highland Park. And so this one is essentially, it's a battery powered, solar powered pole that has Wi-Fi capabilities. So it can put, you can actually log into the light pole and get internet access. Since then, if we bring that to present, we are expanding this idea and actually deploying about 10 more lights throughout the city of Highland Park in partnership with Solidarity. And as you can see, this is kind of some of the basic, work that goes into it, like not just erecting the pole, but pole bases, mounting them, battery boxes, and all of those things. So what it is that we provide is those solutions end to end for the people, the community-based organizations that we work and partner with. Yes, and so in addition to lighting and the utility and the functionality of lighting, right, we've also worked with a couple of community-based organizations, one of which was Manistee Block Club in partnership with the College for Creative Studies. And so this one was an example of lighting that's not only functional, but also has an aesthetic quality that can help highlight the pavilion that's been beautifully crafted and beautifully architected in the city of on the east side of Detroit, and also highlight art that's been created by the local residents, so that people driving down Jefferson can see these at night and be able to appreciate them with light that's powered by solar. And so, speaking of villages, right, another village that's in Highland Park is called Avalon Village. And Avalon is another eco village that's being built. The directress is called Mama Shu. She's been on various publications around the work that she's been doing with clean energy and building up her neighborhood and taking the community from blight to beauty. And she's really been doing that. And so with this project, we've partnered with her to design, develop, and deploy another off-grid station. This one's called Imhotep STEM Lab. And this is an off-grid STEM lab similar to Dirul Energy Station. But this one is designed to be able to have students come in, get educated, right? It's planned to have 3D printers, computers, laptops, Arduinos, things for kids to come in and do coding. And so this is, as you can see, right in the middle of a congested kind of urban neighborhood. But really to have these kind of installments here really, and it kind of stokes the people in the neighborhoods that they have a level of power that's really just right around the corner from them. So this is something that's planned to be deployed soon over the next couple of months. We're completing that. And then also so really actually stepping back. So this one, for this project, we also had an element of workforce development, right? In terms of training people up in terms of how solar works, how the interconnection, the batteries connect, how the modules connect with each other. We had a minority business actually go up and do the racking and do the welding to the container. And the great art that's done on the front of it, all of this was done by great talent from the community and from the neighborhood. And so, we do have a really, an emphasis on training, because we believe that if we have an appropriate workforce, they're going to be the ones to be able to usher us into the future and be able to take on these larger projects. And so we want to be able to develop those skills early on, and give them opportunities to put those skills to use, and grow them over time, so that they become skills become more honed over time.
We want to provide them with future-facing skill sets.
Yes, absolutely. And so, in that vein, and I'll hand it off to Karanja to speak a little bit as well. One of the projects that we also did this was was in partnership with the Hanel Foundation. And this was for a project called Bridging Communities and Congress of Communities. So these are two community-based organizations right in the middle of Detroit. And they provide services to their community. And so what the Hanel Foundation does is they support nonprofits in their mission by providing them solar and clean energy solutions to help reduce their operating costs so that they can put more money towards their impact in their social mission. And so we had the opportunity to work with the Hanel Foundation in partnership with Distributed Power to provide workforce development for installing the 27 kilowatts of solar between the two projects. So Karanja, do you have anything that you want to share on that?
Well, this also, as you indicated, allows these organizations to extend their capabilities. Bridging Communities itself is focused on servicing the senior community in Southwest Detroit. Both of these organizations are located in Southwest Detroit and support those communities. So with the solar that was installed in both of them, but specifically focused on Bridging Communities, it allowed them to expand the kind of services that they're offering to the senior community as well. They decided to install one of our solar charging stations so that in addition to the in-office and community support that they provide, they're able to provide Wi-Fi for the surrounding community as well through one of our solar charging stations. So that generally is what's going on there. They have continued to work with us and in fact are going to be installing an additional solar charging station that again expands the capability and expands the access to Wi-Fi for the community, surrounding community and the seniors there as well.
Skip before. So this is an example of one of those charging stations, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about those. But actually, this is the charging station that is connected to.
Yep, exactly. Yep, to Bridging Communities. Yes. Yep.
All right. And so jump around a little. We're dancing the conversation. So the original charge stations, right? This is another project that we've had the opportunity to do. Was design charging stations around the city of Detroit that could provide Wi-Fi and phone charging or tablet charging capabilities. And these were specifically, during the time of these deployment was around the time of COVID. And so this was done in partnership with Detroit Community Technology Project, as well as Equitable Internet Initiative. And so they're the ones who, actually providing the backbone and the infrastructure for much of the network, that the information, the mesh network that connects everything together. And RCI has, come in and provided the engineering solution around, how do we make sure that this communication has resiliency, right? Has battery storage and can withstand, a blackout, as well as people not being able to go out. So if you can imagine, these during COVID, these stations were used for elderly, being able to apply for stimulus. This was used for students who were locked in that didn't necessarily have internet access at home to be able to be educated around homeschooling. And so it provided a lot of resources, and the community had, shared a lot of communication in terms of the value that it provided for them.
And I don't want to overlook medical as well. It provided that kind of capability for those in the community who wanted to reach out to get medical services as well. And we're relying every day more and more on the access to Wi-Fi to do to carry on our daily businesses. So this helps to facilitate these charging stations and the deployment of them as well.
And so we are doing more. We are doing more charging stations around the city of Detroit. And Roger, maybe you can speak to some of this.
But this is one of our. So you saw one of the other one was like our first generation, if you will. we've also been called upon to do some customized approaches. So this one here is located at Stein Playfield over on the west side of Detroit in the Cody Rouge area. So they have asked us to develop a design that we could apply to the picnic shelter here. So we've applied the panel to the top of the system itself, and then we have it's battery operated. So operators, here's the battery box, and then we have, as well are providing 2 charging ports for the USB. So this again addresses the needs in the community, provides additional access to the community. Now this particular one at this point is not Wi-Fi enabled because of finances. They decided they wanted to do it in stages. So this will initially be just a charging station. Then we'll go back through and provide the Wi-Fi capability for the community. But another project that delivers community benefit.
Yeah. And so thank you for that. And so real quickly, just a few more. One of the last projects that we did was providing military grade solar generators to communities. So this was also during COVID and done in partnership with HPC3, which is the Highland Park Community Crisis Coalition, some of our partners. This is a coalition of Avalon Village, Solidarity, and Parker Village. And so we deployed 3 of them around the city of Highland Park. There's one at Parker Village, there's one at Ryter Cooperative Industries headquarters, and then there's also one at Ohana Gardens.
Ohana Gardens.
Yeah, Ohana Gardens.
Ohana Gardens, yeah.
And so it provides access for solar power and plugging up for whatever tools that they may be having at the time. And so just sharing, this is a brief list of some of our community partners. You'll see some logos, right? The logos are here to just kind of stitch together the narrative in terms of which organizations that we see and have supported us over the years. This is not in any way a comprehensive list. We have many organizations that have helped and supported us over the years. And so just giving acknowledgements for those, including the City of Detroit Office of Sustainability, as well as the Renewable Energy Subcommittee that Diane mentioned earlier as well. And just quick, just some areas that we've done projects in. I guess, Karan, do you want to take us through this kind of quickly? You're on mute.
Sorry, just quickly to highlight the stories here, in fact, that we've been able to deliver solutions across the city and deliver community benefits across the city. With the exception of Northeast Detroit, we have done projects in all quadrants of the city. So on the west side here, we've done work in Live 6. We put in a series of solar powered alley lights and bridging communities. We talked about that already. Congress of Communities, Detown. We've also, as mentioned earlier, focused on residents in Highland Park and the deployment of solar lighting there. We've also done some apartment buildings, at least in terms of parking lots. On the east side, we've done some churches as in relation to the project earlier that we partnered with the EII guys, then the Linux Center as one project we'll be taking a look at as we move along here. And then also Highland Park as was previously discussed, and Parker Village and some of the others.
And so kind of lastly, to take us home, right? One of the last projects that we are doing is that Karan just kind of briefly mentioned is the Linux Center. And the Linux Center, the current Linux Center is located off of, I think it's 100 Linux. It's kind of off the rivers downtown, off of not too far from Jefferson. And the original Linux Center has been essentially—
You guys all know, I was gonna say, you guys know the Hare Krishnas, perhaps, is right down the street from Hare Krishna Center. For those old heads around here, anyway.
This is statewide Karanja, so a lot of folks aren't going to know.
Okay,
that,
got you.
But
Got you. Okay.
let's just say that
Got
it's
you.
on the far east side, down at the Detroit River, almost to Grosse Pointe.
Yeah,
might
indeed. Yes,
help.
yes,
That
yes.
might
Almost
help.
at the border. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first Linux Center that's currently there has, was kind of washed out the last time we had this big flood that, it kind of washed over through Detroit. And so it was really a staple for the community. But, what the thought was is that the city wanted to put something back in its place that would really still be a hub for the community, but also provide a new level of resiliency for, the folks and the people in the community. So with Elevate, Elevate actually led getting funding for the resiliency portion of the project. And so the Linux Center Resiliency Hub is going to be Michigan's first climate resiliency hub. It's the first resiliency hub in the state. And so Ryter Cooperative Industries has been selected to be the prime contractor on that project. It is a solar microgrid, so the system will be designed to have multiple redundant power sources, right? So the idea is that it will have grid power that will operate primarily, but it could also have solar power and also battery power for backup. And in addition to those, it would also have a generator to be able to supplement the other three power sources. So if there is a grid failure, people that use the center can come to the center and use it for food services, climate resiliency, so that if it's a heat wave outside, there's battery powered air conditioning inside, so that they won't have to experience heat exhaustion. And so this is something that we've done in partnership with Elevate, and then we're also working with American Microgrid Solutions and the city of Detroit to have this completed. And so this is a project that is currently ongoing and is planned to be completed probably fall of 2023. So we are very excited to have these projects underway. As you can see, there's been a lot of firsts that RCI has had the opportunity to take part in, but it's not necessarily all just about like us, innovation. We also really big on training and trying to build up that workforce. So we've done education with students of various levels and demographics. So we've done engineering training with University of Detroit Mercy. I'm an alumni of University of Detroit Mercy. So giving back to the school that I come from, we've done a training in partnership with Next Energy, who does a lot of amazing work around clean energy in the state. And so they really enjoyed this for those engineering students. Also done training for Saginaw school districts, and this was for middle schoolers and high schoolers around clean energy. We did this in partnership with the Lumens Foundation, which is our nonprofit that does the education portion of our work, and also Hemlock Semiconductors and HSC and me, which provided opportunities for us to teach students how to create clean energy projects that keep in mind the triple bottom line of people, planet, and profits. And also, pitching their various ideas to upper management at Hemlock Semiconductor, and actually getting some of those projects realized. So that was a great opportunity that we've had the opportunity to participate last year. And then, lastly, had an opportunity to do training with the Green Door Initiative around some, solar installation and solar certification for some returning citizens. And as you can see, that's when my beard was just growing out of control. That was relentless back then, if you can see my beard on that picture. But that's pretty much us and what it is that we're doing. So one thing that we do want to share with you before we go or open it up for questions is that there are, initially people might have thought that, well, solar technology, is that affordable? Is that available or accessible in Michigan? And we've been teaching over the last 8 years or so that debunking that Michigan is not a prime candidate for solar technology. Germany, who lives on the same latitude that Michigan does, has more than 85% of their renewable energy. Their energy comes from renewable energy inside the country. And so it's completely possible with what it is that we're doing. But to even further push that, federal legislation has just passed the Inflation Reduction Act that is written to have very positive impacts in terms of rooftop solar and availability for people that are looking to go green, right? And this will impact everybody on this call, because if you're interested in getting solar technology, it gives you credit that's increased than what it was, even a month ago. So originally it was 26% tax credit that you get back on roof and ground solar. Now that's been up to 30%. There's additional tax incentives and even more tax incentives depending on what area you live in. If you live in underserved neighborhoods, that would be an additional 10%, right? And you have battery storage is also available. Even standalone battery storage is available now. So it doesn't have to be coupled with solar, right? So this, we believe, is going to be a very allow much more accessibility to people getting into the market, and allow much more availability for people that want to get their hands on it. And so that's something that we're committed towards, getting solar in as many hands and homes and roofs as possible, because we believe that this is the future and that we all deserve to be a part of it. And so with that, that's all that I have. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, that's really great, Ali. There have been a few comments and questions that have turned up in the chat. With Highland Park, just to follow up with that new grant, have there been any updates on that program that's been initiated through Solidarity and Mama Shu and others?
So the answer that I have is not yet. So the program that is being mentioned, it's called Communities Leap, and it's funding that was provided by the Department of Energy. So Highland Park was one of 22 cities across the nation, and we were selected to get this technical grant to provide studies around how we could actually provide more robust infrastructure and development for creating that green infrastructure for the city. Right now, the answer is, we're still
okay. Okay. And I know Highland Park is also in line for this new DTE community solar investment, but based on the call we were all on a few weeks ago, that's still a long way from happening too. So we keep marching along in the trenches, getting the good work done. So it seems like there's a lot of interest in the STEM and the STEAM program you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about what the curriculum is that you provide for that? Or is it, how does that operate? Is it a one time that you go in and lecture, or is it a full class you offer? Is it something that's replicable? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So that's something that we do through our nonprofit, the Lumens Foundation, and the curriculum that we provide is MREA curriculum. We are MREA certified. I am an MREA instructor, and so we provide that to the people so that they can have, when they go away, they can have certifications and be able to take that along with them. So the curriculum is very aligned to what you would find in an MREA course, from working with electricity to solar PV 101 to advanced kind of battery design, and preparing you for taking the NABCEP certification test.
So it's actual solar training, not just an intro to solar kind of talk.
So the curriculum scales depending on what the age range is. So typically, if we're doing for our high school or middle schoolers, we'll do a background of general renewable energy. We won't go to working with electricity, but we will go to solar, like PV 101, and then we'll probably get them into understanding series and parallel circuits. And then for our more advanced students, like some of our college students, they'll get working with electricity. They'll get PV 101, but they'll also get like system design and balance of system components so that they can understand, what an inverter is and how it works and what's the different, operating modes for it. A little bit more advanced. And then the workforce level, like the returning citizens or people actually going to get like jobs, we'll give them the whole curriculum, right, from end to end in terms of also, installation practices and designing systems and safety and regulations and all of those things. So the curriculum scales depending on, the age range.
Of course, that's great. Another comment, I guess, was from Ron Suarez to everyone, talking about community broadband internet. And I know you do that now with the program you have, but wondering if you're familiar with a website, broadband.institute. That might be something else to add to your list, or if you're familiar with them already.
No, we'll check.
Okay.
We are a new nonprofit just getting started.
Oh,
set up
okay.
As a platform cooperative. So it's a platform in the way Uber connects drivers and passengers. We're connecting teachers and learners, but it's a cooperative, unlike Uber, in that our platform will be governed by the teachers who participate in it. So we're totally new. We're hoping to get some courses launched this fall, and fixed wireless internet is something that we will be showing people, ultimately looking forward to people getting fiber to the home. But I think what's critical is to bring together people interested in solar, with broadband internet.
Okay.
And it's important that people know about the fiber and dig once. If you're putting electrical lines in the ground, you should be putting conduit for fiber. And these shouldn't be two very separate movements. And in the
Right.
training, we should try to integrate the training. Thank you for letting me in.
Okay, well, thank you for participating.
The website is broadband.
Institute. Karanja, if you go into the chat.
.institute. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
go into the
All right,
chat
good.
under
right.
Dr. Ron Suarez. It was like the third or
Okay.
fourth one in. Just click on that broadband.institute and it'll take you straight to their website.
Okay, very good.
Looks very interesting.
right.
And that is a really good point for all of us in solar, is that for us to be smart, we really need to be looking around us with what are the other opportunities at the same time.
Yeah.
I just went through having solar panels with battery installed on my garage, and everything had to be trenched to go into the house. And guess what they did with the new the new internet line? They ran a line outside the house. It didn't go indoors. So I'm hearing you say, yeah, I guess we did that wrong. Any other questions? I don't see any more questions in the chat, but this is a good time if anybody wants to raise their hand, or you had quite a few kudos in there, guys, and I know I appreciate the work you're doing here in Detroit for
What's the matter?
such a large market area.
Is that
We
you or
don't
Otto?
have a lot of solar installers, so I really appreciate that you're training new folks. And that with this new legislation, we should be selling installations right and left. So you're going to be
Yeah,
busy.
hopefully
You're
that's
going
the
to be
case.
busy. Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Any other questions, comments? Our next session will be in September. I don't have a speaker lined up yet, so we'll be letting you know when that one is coming, the third Thursday. John Freeman, I think that is the night that I am leaving to head over to Germany. So checking out solar panels over there. So
well, we
we may
will
have
figure
to
out
have
a
a-
plan, and just look for the weekly updates that I send every Tuesday, and you will see our next solar story. And
Okay.
again, if you're not members of GLREA, we welcome you to become a member and join the family.
And thank you, everyone, for participating and coming in on a beautiful summer evening. But we're really excited to share with others what is happening in Detroit. So until next month, we thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Ali and Karanja.
Thanks.
Great